I don't think there's a language discrimination. When the internet started, it started in US, and the US main language is English. So the internet evolved in English language everywhere. But ICANN is working on that. They have universal language acceptance language, and there's a lot of programs going on in making the internet multilingual. So you can have domain names in local languages. That's already happening. You can also write emails in local languages. You can have an email address in local language as well. So the gap between the English and non-English speakers is reducing day by day with the latest technologies and implementations. Yeah. That's a bit political question, but I'm just expressing my personal views on that one. I think the governments are trying to protect their citizens, because there's a lot of bad stuff happening, and the citizens are not very well aware of what's really going to happen to them, if they expose their data and everything. So they're trying to protect the citizens, but I can understand your question, your viewpoint of your question, that the government may be also accessing your data. That need to be confirmed, that need to be confirmed. We can't say they're accessing, even we know they're accessing the data, but are they using it, or how they're using the data, when they access it. Of course, they will be using the data to catch the bad guys, So if you're not doing anything bad on the internet, you're just normally, using the internet, you shouldn't be afraid of that one. I think these days the apps are actually verified by the app provider like Google Play or Apple Store. They verify the apps and they publish the apps, so they stop the rogue apps which not harmful for the users. But still, sometimes some apps get through that. I think it's a user's choice. If you don't want to allow all the permissions to that app, then don't use the app. Then look for something that doesn't ask for all the permissions. If you feel you're not safe in giving permissions, then you can stop giving permissions as well. For example, WhatsApp, I stopped giving permission to my media, so I don't save any media coming out of WhatsApp. I think that needs awareness to the users when they download the app. Look at the app, what it does, and what permissions it required. Can you turn them off if you don't want to? I think you can customize that app yourself, and if you really think that you have to give all the permissions, then look for something else. IPv6 is a good question. IPv6 is deployed, and it is being deployed, but the deployment is a little slow than in some countries and little fast in other countries. But it's catching up. It's catching up because the IPv4 is no longer going to be available. It's already reduced, the allocation delegations to ISPs, and so if either the ISPs or the governments, they're talking about smart cities and digital cities and etc. I think they have to start thinking about deploying IPv6 across the country. That's the only way they can achieve to be a smart city or smart country. Without IPv6 deployment, I don't think that's possible to become a smart nation. If you want to compare within the South Asia region, India is leading actually globally in IPv6 deployment. And that leading actually came from just one operator deploying IPv6, and others are deploying it as well. But the effect of IPv6 deployment is seen in India is just with one operator doing it. All of a sudden, India become number one in the world in IPv6 deployment. So if everyone starts doing it, I think they will be able to move forward to a smart nation. So mainly prolonging the deployment of IPv6 because they're still playing with the IPv4. They feel comfortable. It requires some training, skilled staff, and etc. So it will take some time. And also it will require some investment as well. They may have to change the router, the switch, legacy systems, so that will take some time. But everyone have to start thinking about it right now. Don't think it's possible without IPv6 deployment. Bangladesh can become smart nation, because there will be, when you're talking about smart cities, smart nations, there will be a lot of IoTs level, deployment, so all those require a IP address. You can't run them on NATs, you have to have a public IP address assigned to them so you can manage those devices, etc.
We are not.
I think lacking is good universities, good education, having that technological knowledge probably is required, and also it's personal interest as well, what path you want to go, what you want to become in future, so your country may not be providing all the facilities for you, but then you have to, if you're smart enough and you know where you want to go, then you will be going somewhere else to achieve the same thing. Government can implement some good education system that may help, but it won't be 100% helpful. It has to be self-interest. Yeah, you can't expect every youth will become a CEO. They have their own path and their own journey, what they want to become. But if there is facilities available, if someone want to become a CEO, if there's facilities, there's a good training, good education system for that person to become a CEO, then yeah, it will be helpful. But there's a lot of I think the CEOs you're referring, are mostly educated outside of India as well. They probably did basics education in India, but their masters, everything is done overseas. The level of education, is quite different in India. They have very good universities, IITs, which focus solely on IT and management skills, and IIMs, IITs, those kind of infrastructure is grooming the youth to become to go to that level of to that positions. So you need to have that infrastructure, those kind of institutions that groom them, and then they will take off from there. Yeah, definitely. It has to be a government initiated policies to make the nation smart nation, to build the facilities, to build the institutions, to bring the multinationals, to come and set up their offices here. And that's what India is doing. Even Hyderabad, where I come from, is it's called Cyberabad. If you go there, they have huge campus of Microsoft, huge campus of Google, so it's all done by the government, the state government, in line with the federal government. They said, we need to bring these companies here, and the IT education in India is quite good, actually. Regardless whether you want to go software or networking, they have a lot of institutions, again, IITs, where they teach the students. And that's what it's attracting the multinationals to go to India as well.